smiling on the arms of their escorts, crisp in formal attire. With words of light-hearted greetings and pleasantries, President Tubman is again, as always, the gracious host of his country. Sunset, the city was treated to a lavish display of fireworks which lit the sky, the city, and the sea. On this day, in the Centennial Pavilion, the government of the Republic pays homage to the founders of its nation, to its men and women of its native land, and to those from other lands who, in the tradition of the pioneer, have made signal contributions toward the growth and to the well-being of Liberia. On this day, the President awards to those who have served Liberia with distinction a most solemn recognition of their service, membership in the honorary orders of the Republic. One by one, the President calls their names. They come forward, and on their shoulders, he places the great sashes of the orders, and upon their breasts, the medallions which bear their symbol. Citizens of other countries who have worked side by side with the peoples of Liberia in mutual endeavor. High officers of the Liberian government, among them persons whose work for Liberia was accomplished within hailing distance of where they now stand. Some whose duties have taken them twice and then again around the globe. From America to the inauguration come representatives of the New York chapter of the Friends of Liberia, and they too receive recognition from the President. Ladies of the Republic are also honored. Then the chiefs and paramount chiefs of Liberia, as the President recognizes them for their loyalty to the Republic and for their efforts in bringing about a united Liberia. From far, from near, all devoted, all friends of Liberia and servants of this land of liberty. The President and the Vice President with their entourage moved to Pioneers Monument outside of the Centennial Pavilion for the traditional wreath-laying ceremonies. The Guard of Honor fires in salute, and over the hushed morning air, the strains of taps can be heard throughout the city. The ceremony continues as the Honorable Dupini Lee recites these words: "For 2 long years we sought a home in vain. Here we found one, and here we will remain." The investiture ceremony over, the President leaves the pavilion to join the parade that now fills the streets. Of the nation, depicting scenes that fill the lore of the early days of the Republic, pass in parade. Many of the marchers, dressed in costumes of their forefathers, follow as the procession winds its way toward the Antoinette Tubman Stadium and a festival of sports. Vice President Talbert bids welcome to the spectators. Jacob Brown of the Sports Commission pronounces the games officially opened. The Sino Band strikes up as the players from the Invincible 11 and the youth leaders stride onto the field to begin the games. but not the celebration. That night, the streets of the city grow bright once again. Marching to the eerie light of torches held high, the happy crowds flow like a river of light through the avenues of the capital. The capital founded by the pioneer forefathers so many years ago. To the children is this day given. They are the guests of the president, and the official family is on hand to receive them. The executive grounds have been transformed into a playground of child's delight, and balloons and fireworks dance gaily through the air. For the little ones, the excitement is tremendous. As the children enjoy the spectacle from the grounds and nearby, no one realizes more than the president himself that here is the future of Liberia, the future to which his administration is so deeply devoted. To these children is the work of this generation dedicated, and on those shoulders will someday rest the responsibility for the continuation of the work which President Tubman and his new administration have this week pledged themselves. The work of developing the resources of the nation, of tilling its soil, of mining its iron, of tapping its rubber, of making the good earth and the great forests yield rich harvests. The work of harnessing the country's streams and ocean waters, adding to the nation's facilities for public health, for public education, power and transportation. The whole vast program of public works and private enterprise, which President Tubman has inaugurated and pushed forward so vigorously that his country may enjoy the prosperity and well-being that comes from wise investment of public funds, from thoughtful planning, from training, from work well done. A program that is creating new opportunities and making possible those satisfactions that come from the diligent discharge of responsibility by all citizens. Responsibility to God and to their fellow man. Their responsibilities as citizens of a world seeking peace and harmony. Their responsibilities as citizens of a virgin nation. Their nation, being free and independent. By God with inspired leadership. Facing the challenge of the future with confidence and faith.
Like the pepper bird that sings each morning announcing the dawn of another day, so are the new awakening activities and interests of the people of the country announcing the dawn of a new day of progress, enlightenment, and forward marching of the nation and its people. In the morning of this new day that has dawned, there is a great urge by the people for higher standards of living, better and greater educational, health and sanitation facilities. Many foreign friends, particularly of the United States and specialized agencies of the United Nations, are rendering assistance and cooperating. But the responsibility is primarily ours. To meet this challenge in the new day will require every man, woman, and child, from the busiest city on the seacoast to the remotest village in the hinterland, to contribute the best that is in them, so as to be able to enjoy the best schools, the best farms, the best hospitals, the best airways, the best roads, and the best dwelling houses. In fine, the best materials and spiritual values of life are to be placed within ready reach of everyone who will for them.
Who's that? Okay, no people happen for so many. You can get people happen.
What is Steven down here for?
I'm hungry.
When people hungry, the apples will be open. For a while, when flat pie is free, they're happy.
The 1,000 they paid it. That sounds like you be hungry. They pay 1,000 yesterday.
The 1,000 are in my pocket. He lost. Where he go? Where went on? I don't know here.
He lost. 1,000 they gave it to you. Put in your pocket, carry on and he lost. He lost.
He lost. I can't find it. I know that you studio or watching, and I check all inside that room. From the room to the door. And I check even in your transit pocket and up. I can't find the money.
I see. I can always find 20, take in my pocket for your baby money. I'm going to check my pocket. 15 rand back. I can see.
That poverty I'll be looking for to be checking your pocket. To take money with your pocket.
Take it away from you.
Ah, never gonna back on now.
It's la pure will be la pure for us. And they can find it. I know whether you move or you are grown new son as well be shining. Hello. Sometimes I can be wondering when I can be dreaming or the whole sun in your be shining my eyeball or yeah.
Ah, never gonna back on now.
They get looking at love your new money. I know whether they get party or not. I'm supposed to be telling somebody he love what they are loved and I just mean it. I somebody bought that. I spent 11 months in my man's stomach. Directly. And I love you.
Love you?
They think about love. I know people can get talking in a mouth. For you come from my hand, and I've been to my stomach already. They are big better than I've been to the highway.
You mean you get married for my love?
Hey, you must be yet kind of breaking from me now, eh? I will just put it on my hip and put it.
The one asking here. Property. I ain't property.
They roll in from Ghana to Nigeria. Hey, now you already pick. I think you are yellow machine. I'm not going to hear to provide. Yeah, I think I got yellow machine. The whole country will know what it is. See what I can do with my igi or do what I want. You know what I mean?
Okay. I've been selling for my 80. If $500, she asked me to pay for the money. And I get more money. The free you give me now.
Yeah? You just say, simple, and let me 1,000. I already got 1,000 in my pocket. The 1,000 PP, just say, and then you get perhaps in it. So they buy when you're okay with you.
That kind of angel. Why looking there at bottom? Why looking there at fire? When it comes to the evening hour, they say, Kasabi. How?
Hey, baby.
Ah, ni magana ba kanun now?
She looking at it. From Boston, they get cooking the same today, but see for you enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. The whole thing about life, eh? Now about me and woman business. Man and woman, you and myself.
Ah, ni magana ba kanun now?
I can't stay in the council discussing
whatever. I'm not loud. And I tell all yeah, come on in my dress. Oh, I say come on in my dress.
Ah, ni magana ba kanun now?
What a wait for it, you know.
You know, say, well, I thought I was out of being talking the press. Eh?
Talking what kind of prayer? What a prayer they coming from?
We come through here. You know, send me.
Come on in my dress.
You eat all of it and you don't want me to do that.
What you supposed to talk?
But found it.
They're coming from my
Ah,
pocket.
ni magana ba kanun
I
now?
only found ya gay. They ain't talking say found ya gay, da? No, baby, you can't get outside, you can't get outside. Come on, you can't get outside. I'm hungry, I saw all equal.
Ni magana ba kanun
So,
now?
let me get you 300. I'm begging you. I'm begging you.
Ah, ni magana ba kanun now?
Money now. Money, wow. What's up?
Yeah, the money. Get the money, yeah. The money that way, boy. Boy, you give me small thing. Yeah, 500. You give me small thing. I beg you, baby. I beg you, baby. Hey, no.
Ah, ni magana ba kanun now?
Time for you, pal. That's small time for you. Hey, bloody you.
Ah, ni magana ba kanun now?
They are no.
Sivo. So you want me to die in a horse so you can know say another. You in a horse say I won't create the money and tell you I'm hungry. You don't want to know what you know to go.
I bring young girl in a horse today. And I tell you, Alice.
See, he gave 500 to that girl. I'm going to 500.
Ni magana ba kanun now?
If a nation expects to be ignorant free, it expects what never was and what never will be.
Thank you so much. You may have your seat. Yes. It's good morning, good afternoon to everyone. It's really such a blessing to be here, and knowing that most of you are here because of an initiative that I've decided to start for the young girls of Liberia. I can honestly say that before I go into my speech, I can honestly say that growing up as a young lady and educating myself to be a better person, when I went to university, I studied, I got my degree in health promotion management. Starting as a first lady, I didn't have anyone to show me what it's like to be a first lady, what is required to be a first lady. But being the motherly kind of person that I am, most of the initiatives that I've started in Liberia is basically things that I feel from my heart, you know? Things that I feel from my heart in loving children, in loving people in general. So this is something that is very close to my heart. And as I toured Liberia, I saw that, and speaking to a lot of young people, I realized that most of them weren't knowledgeable about this topic, and they even shied away from talking about it. So I wanted to be the vehicle, the person who kind of pulled this out of them, pull this out of their parents, if it's possible, during the time that I have serving as your first lady in this government. So I just want to say thank you all for sharing this with me, and thanks for all the support that I've had. So I just wanted to make that clear. So with all due respect, I want to say good afternoon to my husband, George, Excellency Dr. George Manewe. Good afternoon to all officials of government here present, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the United Nations Resident Coordination, all distinguished personalities, members of the press, and to all my beautiful daughters who decide to come here today to share this experience with me, I thank you. I stand here today with a boldness of spirit and a determined heart to make a constructive difference in the lives of women and girls within the Republic of Liberia. As a woman, a mother, a sister, an aunt, I care about all God's children and continuously strive to seek their welfare. But today, I am here to express my solidarity and support to our women and girls, especially those with disabilities, to lead and guide them in advancing their menstrual hygiene as they grow into productive ladies for tomorrow. The She's You Menstrual and Personal Hygiene Initiative espoused the view that dignity is not a luxury. Rather, it is a human right. That is why we believe that menstrual hygiene is vital to the empowerment and well-being of women and girls worldwide. I am on a firm conviction that it is about more than just access to sanitary pads and appropriate toilets, although these are important. It is also about ensuring that women and girls live in an environment that values and support their ability to manage their menstruation with dignity. And that is why the She's You movement here in Liberia has vowed to make sure that this becomes a reality. We acknowledge today, thank you. We acknowledge today that although menstruation is a natural process, it is sadly linked with many misconceptions and practices which sometimes result in adverse health outcomes. In fact, in many quarters and corners of our Liberian society, speaking of menstruation is a taboo, a forbidden conversation which leads to the detriment of many young girls. Today, we want to positively and constructively raise the bar. bringing this conversation out in the open to the cognizance and awareness of all of us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the She's You Menstrual and Personal Hygiene Initiative believes that women and girls who have a better knowledge regarding menstrual hygiene and safe practices are less vulnerable to reproductive tract infection and its consequences. Therefore, increased knowledge about menstruation right from childhood may increase safe practices and may help in mitigating the suffering of millions of women. Today, it is reported that millions of women who suffer from reproductive tract infection and its implication, and often the infection is transmitted to offspring of the pregnant woman. Hygiene-related practices of women during menstruation are therefore of considerable importance, as they have a significant health impact in terms of increased vulnerability to RTI. Several weeks ago, I had a unique opportunity to interact with young ladies in Bumi, Magibi, Grand Bassa counties in conversation about menstrual hygiene. I have to say that our conversation were an eye-opener for me and for the young ladies themselves. For many were unaware of the health issues associated with poor hygiene during their menstrual cycle and what they could do to manage their menstruation with dignity. Each year, we celebrate Menstrual Hygiene Day on May 28th. The day is dedicated to bringing awareness around the vital role in good menstrual hygiene management plays in empowering women and adolescent girls worldwide to become all they can be. The vision beyond Menstrual Hygiene Day is to create a world in which every woman and girl is able to manage their menstruation in a hygienic way, in safety, privacy, and with dignity wherever they are. This is precisely why I have taken up the mantle, especially since my conversation with girls in Bumi, Magibi, and Grand Bassa. So this year, my office, the Office of the First Lady and the Republic of Liberia, has decided to collaborate with the Clark Hope Foundation and the Government of Liberia through the Ministry of Gender to elevate the conversation and menstrual hygiene with the goal to educate and empower the most vulnerable women and girls, particularly those living with disabilities. I am ultra passionate about this and wish to inform you that our goals for menstrual hygiene and the usage of sanitary pads and personal hygiene kits for women and adolescent girls is to create an inclusive society where women and girls can share their knowledge and challenges in line with their menstruation. In Liberia and elsewhere, we must seek to minimize any further discrimination and stigma against women within our society. We must also strive to instill confidence in women living with disabilities and give them a sense of belonging and inclusiveness. We must continue to do all that we can to reduce diseases that could cause further complication of their condition, and we must advocate for their integration of menstrual hygiene management in our schools across Liberia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I was saddened to learn in some of my conversations with women and girls that during their menstruation, they have to use pieces of cloth because of lack of access to sanitary pads. It must be a thing of the past as we launch this initiative today. How wonderful would it be if we could distribute sanitary pads and personal hygiene kits to all the girls and women in Liberia free of charge. Let us not wait for a girl to become a woman to empower her. Empowering a girl's life by giving sanitary pads to them With pads, we give them wings to soar to their full potential. That is why I'm very happy today to announce that we have been able to receive a gift, a pragmatic gift that will go a long way in changing the lives of women and girls. The gift, which was graciously donated by my friend, Dr. Rasha Kalaj of the Merck Foundation, is a machine that will enable us to make disposable pads right here in Liberia. Please join me in thanking Dr. Kalaj for her kindness and generosity. Thank you also to my dear husband who have decided that he will buy and contribute to giving us another machine. Dear friends, menstruating in dignity is part of the fundamental rights of girls and women who constitute half of the country's population. However, their ability to manage their menstruation is influenced by a broader gender inequities across Liberia and can be hindered by the presence of discriminatory social norms which are exacerbated by women living with disability. The situation is far-reaching and complex issue that needs to be addressed from various sub-sectors: water, sanitation and hygiene, education, health, gender, protection, and social and economic aspect. As such, there is a need for a comprehensive policy and appropriate action that will address all these head-on in Liberia. His Excellency, George Manewea, my husband, who is the feminist-in-chief in the Republic of Liberia, has urged our Ministry of Education to design policies and promote practices that would address the menstrual needs of girls and women and ensure that girls stay in school during that time. We must all understand that where our girls and women are concerned, as a nation, we must stand together, for when our girls and women are not well, the health of our nation is in jeopardy. Today, as we launch this timely initiative, I say to you that menstruation itself is not a problem. The actual problem is poor menstrual hygiene. And that is why I stand together with the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection and all our partners to declare that gone must be the days when young girls, especially poorer girls, skip school and avoid participating in communities due to shame during their monthly periods. Hence, the She's You movement will establish She's You Girls Health Club in school and communities across the country to tell the nation that a period should end a sentence. A period should end a sentence, not a girl's education. The She's You Girls Health Club will serve as a conduit to implement the She's You menstrual and personal hygiene initiative. The Liberia we seek cannot become a reality if all are not included. When women and girls, especially women and girls with disabilities, are absent from school and community activities due to poor menstrual hygiene, the dream of a new Liberia is far from reality, because what obtains is exclusivity, not inclusivity. We seek to include everyone, so we will reach out and touch our women and girls and help them to develop better menstrual hygiene. Let us make more and more women aware of the importance of menstrual hygiene for a better life. You see, being unaware about menstrual hygiene is one of the biggest threats to the health of women. Therefore, let us make aware about it starting from this moment, this second, and this day, as we celebrate World Menstrual Hygiene Day and the launch of the She's You menstrual and personal hygiene initiative. I really want to thank the staff of the Gael Medium and the staff of the First Lady's office, because without them, I don't know how I could pull this off. I really want to thank everybody that participated here in making this happen, and hope that a lot of our women in our society in Liberia will pull together, because I don't want this only to be a Clara initiative. It should be all of us sticking together to serve our young people, because they are the future of our country. Thank you very much. We continue the struggle. Power to all the women, power to all the young girls in Liberia. Remember that I may not be able to interact with all of you individually as an individual person, but I'm here, I'm advocating for you in every way that I can, and I support you because I know who you are, because I was once in your shoes. So God bless all of you, and let the She Is You Menstrual Hygiene Program Initiative rise. We've already started the initiative by going through different counties and meeting different young women in each of these counties and handing them a care packet. So for all the young girls who are there today, we want to present these packages to you with everything that you could need of in terms of health care. It has deodorant, soap, anything that you need. So take this package home and know that Clara, where your First Lady, love you more than anything else. God bless you all.